Welcome back to another episode of the Watch Monkey, and today we're going to be talking about the Seiko SKX. And guess what, guys? I joined the cult. Now, in a few moments, I'll be flipping the camera around and showing you the watch that I found. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and show you right now. So the watch that I picked up is the SKX 175, which is the Pepsi. And it's the 175 was only made for the North American market. So I'm just seeing if I can get this to focus for you guys. I don't know if it's gonna or not. No, I guess it doesn't. I gotta flip the camera on. But anyway, so this is just made for the North American market, and this is kind of sought after because of that. It's a little bit rarer and a little bit more expensive than the standard SKX 009. There's a J version and a K version also. The J version is the one that's made in Japan, and the K version, which can be made in either Malaysia or Singapore. But yeah, I was always kind of looking at these. I wasn't sure what the hype was, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. So I was just looking around, and I found this particular one at a really great price. In today's market, these are going for typically over $300. I picked this one up for 225 bucks on bracelet. It's a beautiful Jubilee bracelet. Actually, it's not that beautiful. It's a little bit janky, and you're going to hear me talk about that a little bit too, some of the pros and cons of this watch. But anyway, I'm going to stop there for now and flip the camera around so you guys can see the watch that I picked up just the other day. And yeah, it's definitely a pretty nice little piece, especially for that kind of money. You really can't go too wrong. Okay, so here we have the SKX 175, which is basically the same as the SKX 009. There's also the 007, which is the same watch again, except the bezel, that's this area here, it's all black. So this is referred to as the Pepsi bezel. It's kind of hard to tell that it's blue unless I hold it at a certain angle, but you can see it's blue and red. It's not black and red like it appears in some lighting. So anyway, what are some of the things that you need to know about this watch? First of all, you should know the dimensions of the watch, and it's a very nice, it has really nice dimensions. Basically, it's suitable for almost any wrist. The case diameter is 42 to 43 millimeters, kind of depending on who measures it. But anyway, that's that distance from here to here. The lug to lug distance is 45 millimeters, and the lug width here for the strap or the bracelet is 22 millimeters. So it's quite comfortable to wear. And the other thing that Seiko is really famous for, with this particular design especially, is the turtle case. And you can see that it's heavily beveled on the side, so it actually is very comfortable where it doesn't bind. Really, Seiko really nailed these larger watches, making them a little bit easier to wear on your wrist because of the shape of the case. Some other things that you need to know. Unfortunately, the glass here is not sapphire. It is Hardlex crystal, which is proprietary to Seiko. The bezel insert here is just an aluminum insert. The crown is a screw-in crown, which helps in the water resistance to 200 meters. The other thing, this is an actual dive watch. It's ISO certified. So it's been tested, and it is good for diving. And at this price point, you really can't go wrong. Now, this is a discontinued model, unfortunately, and the prices have started to climb on these. Now, these were originally going for about $200. I picked up this one used for $225, which was an exceptional deal, especially being a SKX 175. That's the North American only version. But yeah, what a great watch to own. I've got a lot of watches. You can see some of my other watches in my collection kind of scattered around here. I've got plenty of watches, and at the $225 mark for this one used, granted it's in exceptional condition, I would consider it to be a very good buy. There are a lot of homage watches made after this watch as well. I'm going to just show you on quickly. Hang on a sec. Steel Dive makes one. This one is Heimdallr, and there are a few others. And in some ways, these watches are actually better quality than the Seiko, and it's actually using a Seiko movement as well, the NH series. Now, this one here is an NH35. It's just date only, but they do have NH36s as well, which is a day date. Now, what makes this better is that it's using a sapphire crystal here. It's a ceramic bezel, and what else? The lume is just as good on this as it is on the Seiko, but the big drawback with this is it doesn't have the heritage or history that the Seiko has. Now, I'm not going to get into that, but really, Seiko is kind of one of the pioneers of dive watches, and they really make them well, and they made them at a very reasonable price. Recently, though, the Seiko lineup is getting a little bit pricey. Some people feel now that they are actually overpriced, that the value proposition that they once represented is no longer there. So there are some good deals to be had if you're patient and you look around on the secondary market. Places like eBay or some of the Facebook groups, Marketplace on Facebook. These are some places that you can find these watches. Now, keep in mind as well, this particular movement is the older 7S26, which is non-hand winding. So that means you can't wind this watch by hand, and it's non-hackable. And what that means is when you pull this out, the seconds hand doesn't stop. So you can't really set the watch precisely as you would like. But for me, that really doesn't matter how precise the watch is, as long as it's keeping relatively good time. And the fact that it doesn't have hand wind, that's okay too. All you got to do is when the watch stops or whatever, you give it a little shake like this, and it's going to run for quite some time. You wear it on your wrist, and when it's fully charged, it'll go about 40 hours or so on a full charge without having to put it back on your wrist or whatever. But just a great watch, and I just thought I'd share this with you. So I am now officially a member of the Seiko SKX cult. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. Really great watch with a ton of history. It's one of those watches that even seasoned watch collectors and people that collect high-end watches will usually have one of these in their collection. So don't miss out. Try and get one of these if you can. You won't be disappointed. I'm going to quickly throw it on my wrist, and then I'll do a loom shot for you guys too, just so you know how it looks on a 7-inch wrist. Hang on a sec. So I'm just going to quickly pop this on, and you can see there on a 7-inch wrist it fits very nicely. I'm just going to quickly turn off the light here and do a quick loom shot. And good, I don't even have my other flashlight here, but anyway, you can see it's kind of already looming. If you can just grab that light, that'd be great. Okay, so that's the loom shot, and that's without charging it. That's just from the so-called studio lights. But anyway, that's it there. That's my Seiko SKX 175. I hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode of The Watch Monkey. Yeah, so that's it. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you at the next episode.